Right, okay, today I want to talk about Perfect Order, which is the latest Pokemon TCG release. I also want to talk about how important it is to make your own opinion on things and do not get drawn into all these online opinions and watch all these videos and look at all these comments and try and form your own opinion essentially, because Perfect Order has received quite a lot of backlash. People are saying it's a dead set. People, and I know it's not everyone, but in the comments and stuff on videos, everyone's saying it's trash basically, which in my opinion it's not. And why I think it's so important for you to basically make the decision for yourself. So there's plenty of cards in the set which I like, which I'm going to go through shortly. But I want to talk about how Pokemon can't really win at the minute, because we've brought a set out that is getting slandered more, you know, and it's not particularly loved by the community so far. But this has resulted in it being easier to get hold of, and I understand it's not readily available fully on the shelves, but it will definitely be a lot easier to come across than Ascended Heroes or Prismatic or Surging Sparks or Destined Rivals. All these kind of sets will be easier to come across than those. And not only that, it's going to be cheaper on the secondary market. And this is the way it is now. If there is a banger set with loads of monetary value in it, it's going to be harder to get. It's going to be more expensive on the secondary market. And basically, you're going to be paying a lot more if you want to rip packs. Whereas with this set, obviously, it's cheaper on the secondary market. It's not as good of a set as people are saying, all right? Even though I'm going to make my case for it being a good set, it isn't the best in the world, and we have had better, but I still think it's good. I will still be opening packs. I won't be mastering the set, but there is cards that I want that I'm going to run through. And that's why I almost believe that Pokemon, they can't really win, because it's product becomes more readily available due to the set not being as good, but then people are happy because they don't like the set. And it's almost like there's going to be no situation where everyone can win, because if everyone loves the set, it's just going to sell out everywhere. Secondary market price is going to be ridiculous, like we saw with Ascended Heroes. And then a set comes out where people don't like it as much. It's still hard to get hold of, but it's a lot cheaper and it's more accessible for the majority of people with the price range that it's at. I think ETBs are doing 65 on the secondary market, between 63, 65-ish. Booster packs are selling on streams for a £5, which, you know, we see Destined Rivals go for like, what, £9, £10, Prismatic 15, 151, 15, Ascended Heroes 12 to 15 quid. So this set is much more accessible for, you know, the wider community and collectors, etc. Now I want to run through some of the cards that I like from the set and why, and this is why I believe that, I don't want to say that, obviously there are a lot of people that make their own opinions, but I do also think that when you go online and you watch videos and you read all these comments, it can influence your opinion just naturally without you even thinking about it. But when you actually take a look for yourself, I found a lot of cards that I liked. Now the two I've got a list here. The two that I want to start with that aren't for me, but I know a lot of people will be collecting these cards when I'm vending at shows and stuff. I know there'll be a certain demographic of people, and it's the people who like to shop for like the cute sort of cards. The Dedenne and the Clefairy are going to be incredibly popular. A lot of people who like that sort of like cute artwork style sort of thing, they will want those cards. Not for me, but they will be very popular. I know the Clefairy, I believe, is it the most expensive illustration rare, but I think it's at like, this is a guess, I should have looked at this, I'll correct it in the video. I think it's about 25 to 28 pound, which for that card, you know, I think it's a pretty fair price for how popular Clefairy is. And I think the card's nice. It's not for me, but I think it's a nice card. And the Dedenne, I'm not sure on the price range. Now, I've gone on to the Talonflame, the Drapion, and the Raticate, which I've put into a category that I would like. They're the sort of type of illustration rares that I would collect, because I think they look cool, right? And if you don't think these cards look cool, then obviously it's all subjective, that's your opinion. But Drapion, Gen 4, I'm a big Gen 4 fan. The Talonflame, I just think looks class. And the Raticate, I think is also a cool artwork. So, I mean, I don't know, people can look at these cards and say that they're bad. Again, I know it's subjective, but they are three really nice cards, in my opinion. There was other cards that I could have picked out that I liked, but they were the three standouts for me. Moving on, we've got the Mega Starmie that I think Mega Starmie is sick. I think it's absolutely goated. Everyone says it looks daft and stupid, but that's the whole point. Like, it does look stupid, but I like that. I think it looks class. I think the SIR, I think it looks good. It looks sick. It's not a Charizard or a Gengar or whatever, but I can appreciate the artwork for what it is, and it's nice to see different stuff. Obviously, the Starmie being a new Mega form, it's nice to see all these different Pokemon get the cards, in my opinion. Obviously, it doesn't carry the monetary value because it's not a Gengar, Greninja, Charizard, Pikachu, whatever, but it's still a class card. It's one that I will be picking up, and I don't really pick slabs up as much these days, but I want that in an Ace or a PSA 10. And also, I think the full art is pretty cool as well. Again, it's just Starmie. It looks daft, but I like it. Then I've got the Mega Skarmory full art. Again, it's not going to be an expensive card, but it's a very good looking card. Skarmory's cool, Mega Skarmory's cool, and yeah, just a nice looking full art, which will be, what, it'll be a £3, £4, £5 card, more than likely. Then we've got the Meowth. Now, I get why this card gets a bit of slander, because it's not the most typical looking SIR. A lot of people are saying it looks like a standard full art, which I do get. It does kind of have that style. However, it does still look very good. Now, I do prefer SIRs to have like a more like in-action shot, or more like the different style of SIR, you know, what we see where, you know what I'm trying to say, it doesn't look, I have like just the patterned background. It kind of reminds me of the Garchomp from Paradox Rift, which didn't really give like SIR sort of aesthetic or vibe, but it still looks cool, do you know what I mean? So with that card, I do really like it, but I do think it could have been better had they done the artwork a different style. Like, for example, I would prefer the illustration rare from Destined Rivals, because, I don't know, I just kind of prefer that style of card. So with that, I get why people aren't a huge fan of it, but at the same time, people do really like it. I think they just don't like the fact that it's an SIR. Anyways, moving on, the Mega Zygarde SIR. Zygarde is Gen 6, X and Y, Zygarde, and the Mega Zygarde of Gen 9. I dipped out at the end of Gen 4, so I didn't really do Gen 5, 6 and 7. So Zygarde for me, I don't really have any attachment. I'm not really too bothered, but and the Mega Zygarde in Gen 9, I do think it looks good. I think the card is cool. It's not for me because, you know, and this is what I'm going to go on to in a minute as well. It's not really for me, but I think the card looks cool. It's not something I'd want for my collection, but I can appreciate that it is a nice looking card. Then we've got the gold Zygarde, and I just don't like the gold cards. I don't like the Charizards, I don't like the Lucario, I don't like the Gardevoir. I don't, they're just not for me. I just don't like them. Obviously, the reason they're so valuable in my opinion, and probably just this is the reason, is because they're incredibly difficult to pull, but I would not want to add that card to my collection, them sort of cards, just because they're not what I like. I get why some people do like them, but they're not for me. But what I want to say is, obviously, the only reason the Zygarde won't carry as much value as the Lucario, the Gardevoir, the Charizard is just because it's Zygarde. It's nothing to do with like the artwork or anything. It's just because of the particular Pokemon. So yeah, that's not necessarily like bad artwork in the set. It's just the choice of Pokemon. But that's that. Then the Rose's Encouragement SIR, which I can see being a very popular SIR with the trainer collectors. Again, it's not really for me, but I can see why a lot of people want to pick this card up. And it's one of them. 2 years ago, when not full art trainers, trainer SIRs were going crazy. Obviously, you have like the Miriam at Scarlet and Violet base, Iono from Paldea Evolve, which on release was like, I'm pretty sure the most valuable chase cards in those sets. Had this set come out at that time, I guarantee you this card would have been a 200, 300, 400 pound card. But yeah, it's just come out a couple of years later. It's still a great card, and one that I'm sure a lot of people will be looking to pick up. So I can guarantee if people go and have a look through the set list for this set, they will find a lot of cards that they like, and do not get dragged into the negativity of people saying it's crap, because it's not. This is the last point I want to go on to. I do not think there is a bad set in any of Scarlet and Violet. I think there are sets where there's Pokemon that don't really, what's the phrase to use? Like people are bothered about them, basically. Like, so a lot of the Pokemon from the latest generations, people who didn't play Scarlet and Violet, they aren't bothered about Iron Treads, they aren't bothered about Iron Hands, they aren't bothered about all these Pokemon. And that's why the SIRs are like 9, 10, 11, 12 pound. It's not because of the artwork. The artwork is class on literally 90% of these cards. The artwork is so good, but it's just people don't resonate with them Pokemon as much. Like, they're more recent, they're not as nostalgic. People maybe haven't played the games and they just really aren't that bothered about them Pokemon. It's not that it's a bad set. All it means is, or like bad artwork or anything like that, it's just that people, sometimes a set isn't for you. And I think a lot of people, we don't think about that. We don't really appreciate the fact that, oh, okay, maybe this set just isn't for me. It doesn't mean it's a bad set just because there's no crazy popular Pokemon or whatever. That doesn't make it bad. For me, a bad set would be if the cards look bad. Like, if you look at the artwork and it's like lazy art, which you never really get in Pokemon, we never really have ever. If it's just like not, the textures are off on the cards, and I don't know, like, or the pull rates are absolutely horrendous. Obviously, we can take pull rates into account. But for me, in Scarlet and Violet, there's been literally no bad sets. Shrouded Fable got a bad name, but again, there's some great cards in there. And the Monkey Dory and the Fezandipity and then the MSIRs, there wasn't that much going on in a couple of them. I think it's the Monkey Dory, which is like, it's not obviously one of the most recent Pokemon. It's one of them they brought in the DLC, but the artwork isn't really going off too much on the card. But I don't know. Still, I just think we dive into the opinions of other people's opinions online too much, and maybe don't look I don't know, even just today I sat and looked properly for myself, and when I was going through this list to pick the cards, I was like, these cards are sick, and everyone's saying this set's dead, and I don't know. I just don't think it is. But that's it for the video, another rambling video, just about a load of nonsense really. Yeah, go visit pokeven.co.uk, and that's about it. Let me know in your comments your opinions on Perfect Order, whether you've picked any up, whether you've ripped any, what you're planning to do, you're going to keep some stuff sealed. I don't know, just let me know, and yeah, see you in a bit.